After the whistle begins tonight at Central, where this happened. It's a loft to Clearfield's Caden Bell, but who needs two hands? High-pointing the ball, making an unbelievable catch. Let's take another look at that one, but let's slow it down. Bell using all 5'6" of his frame and all 360 degrees of the protractor to secure this grab. But would that be enough to secure victory? Hello, I'm Jack Rachinsky. We'll have more on that game and several others from around District 6.
And I'm Ryan Lowy. Penn State prepares for its biggest test so far, a showdown in Columbus with Ohio State. We'll preview that and more coming up right here on After the Whistle. Our game of the week tonight features two teams in the playoff hunt as the 5-3 Penns Valley Rams visit the 5-3 Tyrone Golden Eagles. Tyrone is looking for redemption after losing a close one to Penns Valley last season. Let's get into this one as midway through the first quarter, Tyrone is up 7-0. Quarterback Ashton Walk will heave it down the field to connect with Andrew Weaver for the 45-yard touchdown, putting the Golden Eagles up 14-0 in the first quarter. We now shift to the second as first play back in the action, Ashton Walk fakes the handoff, and the young man will give his arm a shot as Weaver makes the catch and takes it all the way to the house for an 87-yard score, making it 21-0 Golden Eagles. Now less than a minute left in the half, Weaver will find Eli Woomer for the 43-yard touchdown as Tyrone will go into halftime leading Penns Valley 28-0. Back early in the third quarter, Weaver will fling it to the running back Brady Ronan, who will beat the tackle from the rear and take it to the house for a 57-yard touchdown, adding to Tyrone's lead 35-0. The game was called after 3 quarters, with Tyrone taking the victory 35-7. The Golden Eagles will host Forest Hills next week, having already secured their spot in the postseason. Both teams will have to wait to find their next opponents in the conference playoffs, which will begin next week. Our Game of the Week reporter Jenna Wisman was at the game tonight. Jenna, what happened in Tyrone this evening?
Well, Ryan, Tyrone played well on both sides of the ball and picked up their 5th win in a row. Let's take a look.
Tonight's game was personal for Tyrone. Last season, they fell to Penns Valley 28-21 after leading 21-7 the first 3 quarters. Penns Valley scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, pulling off an amazing comeback win. The Golden Eagles wanted to make sure that tonight's outcome was different.
And we knew that they're never out of a game, and they proved that last year against us. I mean, we had a 21-7 lead going into the fourth quarter, and they just came back and took it right from us.
It's been a muddy night at Gray Veterans Memorial Field, but that did not stop the Golden Eagles from redeeming themselves and dominating against the Rams.
Their D-backs were playing super far back, so I was able to, it opened up a lot of space, and our offensive line didn't let up anything. We had so much time to throw the ball, so that really helped.
Receiver number 10, Andrew Weaver, had 2 out of Tyrone's 5 touchdowns on the night. His first touchdown of the game was a 46-yard reception late in the first quarter. From that point on, Weaver never missed a beat, catching deep balls left and right and receiving an 83-yard touchdown pass, making the score 20-0.
In every phase of the game, we're trying to get better each week. And what we need to do is we've got to continue to work on our running game. We think that's been the key for us all year. We've run the ball pretty well. You can see that we're coming together. I mean, we still have a long way to go.
We'll see if Tyrone can keep up the momentum as they look to head into the postseason. Reporting in the studio, I'm Jenna Wisman. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jenna. Our next game features 2 top 20 teams in District 3A as the Central Dragons put their undefeated record on the line as they took on the 6-2 Clearfield Bison. Central senior Logan Warner got the night off to an electric start with a performance that would make Jimi Hendrix proud. Just take a listen. Let's go to under 5 minutes left in the first. It'd be wide receiver Jack Dunn catching a sling from quarterback Eli Muethler, putting them up 7-0. Dunn would have another touchdown later in the half, increasing the lead to 14-0. Looking to close the gap, we go back to our play of the week. It's Caden Bell putting them in scoring position with a full body twist to take the ball to the ground. That play sets up a much-needed score as Brady Collins hits pay dirt for 6. That draws the lead down to 7, Central still ahead. As the half winds down, Muethler launches it once more, finding Jacob Benton as he runs it through the end zone and into the fence. Central heads into the half leading 21-7. Clearfield's comeback effort would come up just short, and the Dragons of Central would take the win 27-21. Central keeps a donut in the L column as Clearfield picks up their third loss. Both teams are in the league playoffs and will await their opponents for next week. Now let's turn to some other scores from around District 6. Bishop McDevitt shut out Mifflin County 42-0, while Penn Cambria won at Bishop McCourt 41-20.
Richland bested Chestnut Ridge 28-10. Cumberland Valley defeated State College 17-10.
West Branch thrashed Meshannon Valley 34-12, while Bellefonte bested Huntington 14-13 for their first win of the season.
And Altoona defeated Carlisle 28-19. The 3-4 Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers need a win to stay in the playoff hunt. Would they find one as they face District 4's Danville for the first time? Both teams entered the field with lots of noise and momentum, as both bands were on field to support their Tigers stadium. First drive of the game less than 2 minutes into the contest. Danville now set to punt, but it's blocked by Jay Arborono. And Brady Steiner jumps on it in the end zone. Hollidaysburg takes a 7-0 lead. With 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter, Madden Patrick lobs one to Cameron Kirsch, but Josh Banks forces a fumble, and Cooper Towell falls on it for Hollidaysburg. The Golden Tigers off to a hot start, but Danville was able to respond shortly after. Now with seconds left in the first quarter, from 2 yards out, Patrick carries the ball in for a touchdown. The Ironmen tie the score 7-7 going into the second quarter. With just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half, Patrick slings it right to Aaron Johnson, who like a deck of cards shuffles his way through the Golden Tigers defense and takes it to the house for a long touchdown. Johnson Danville takes their first lead of the game, 14-7. Danville tacked on 7 more as they will win 28-21 over Hollidaysburg. They are set to play the Executive Education Academy Charter School at home next Friday. While Hollidaysburg falls to 3-5, they will look to bounce back next Friday at home against Dubois.
It's a battle on I-99 as Bald Eagle continued its path to the postseason with a visit to Bellwood Antis. As we see the Blue Devils coming out onto their field, Bald Eagle would start off strong with a 29-yard pass from Carson Nagel to Cahill Burns. This would give the Eagles a early 7-0 lead, but now let's go from offense to defense. It'd be Eric Clark with the sack. It'll be picked up by Austin Moyle for a 12-yard gain to put Bald Eagle into the red zone. And on the very next play, a 3-yard pass from Nagel to Burns for their second connection of the night, 14-0, Bald Eagle. And it's Christmas in October. Santa's in the building, guys. But back to the action. It'd be Alexander Lefebvre, who was all over the field with a 22-yard return for a touchdown after a strip sack, giving a 28-0 lead over Bellwood Antis at the half. Bald Eagle went on to defeat Bellwood Antis 42-0. Bald Eagle advances to 8-1 and will face Penn Cambria at home next week. Bellwood Antis falls to 1-8. Up next, Penn State prepares for its top 10 Big Ten showdown tomorrow with Ohio State.
But first, here are some scores from across the PIAA. We'll see you after the break. Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle, brought to you by Com Radio, Center County Report, and Penn State's Chapter of Awesome.
Now let's rewind to last Saturday when Penn State used all 3 phases to shut out the UMass Minutemen. Reporter Matt Scalzo has more.
On a rainy Saturday evening when Penn State's offense and defense were rolling against UMass. It was the special teams that stole the show. Penn State was looking for a spark in the first quarter, and it came on a punt return from senior defensive back Daquan Hardy. On his first collegiate punt return, he took it 56 yards to the house, which set the tone the rest of the way.
I thought early on we had to get some things kind of cleaned up, but once we did, I thought we played balanced offense again tonight and complementary football. And then special teams, obviously the story of the night is Daquan Hardy.
Early in the second quarter, Drew Aller punched it in from 1 yard out, and then not long after, running back Katron Allen bullied his way into the end zone to make it 21-0 Penn State. Then right before halftime, Aller found tight end Tyler Warren over the middle to make it 28-0 Penn State heading into the break. Aller continued to find success at the start of the second half, finding fellow tight end Theo Johnson not once but twice for touchdowns, making it 42-0. Later on, Hardy showed he wasn't done yet. Late in the third quarter, he found daylight once again for his second punt return touchdown of the day, this one coming from 68 yards, becoming the first player in program history with 2 punt return touchdowns in the same game. Running back Trey Potts and backup quarterback Bo Perbula found pay dirt in the fourth quarter to cap off homecoming as Penn State went on to win 63-0.
After defeating the Minutemen, Penn State now turns its focus to Ohio State. Center County Reports' Joey David has more.
Growing up only about 2 hours from the Ohio State campus, Medina native Drew Aller returns to his home state for the biggest game of his career so far, tomorrow. Penn State heads into this monster matchup with an unbeaten record. Coach James Franklin said this week the team needs to keep taking the season 1 week at a time. And they wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for their preparation in the past weeks.
This is a really important game. Why? Because of how we've handled the previous 6. If we didn't handle the previous 6 the right way, you wouldn't be asking that question.
Aller has yet to commit a turnover this season and has left every game early with a lead. That means, since becoming the starter, Aller hasn't played a full game start to finish. Franklin reiterated his faith in the sophomore quarterback, but also the way the whole squad has been playing.
I do think we're playing really good complementary football, and that's a term that's thrown around a lot, but I think we're probably more complementary and more balanced than we've been in the past.
Although all eyes will be on number 15, it'll take a top team effort to take down Ohio State. Both teams have not been ranked in the top 10 when facing each other since 2019, and Penn State has not won since 2016. In University Park, I'm Joey David for the Center County Report.
You can catch the game tomorrow at noon on Com Radio.
As the end of the regular season approaches, some do schools homecoming weeks. This week was the homecoming week for both the Central Dragons and the Tyrone Golden Eagles. Both schools held a pregame ceremony to showcase their homecoming courts. Ceremonies concluded with the reveals of the King and Queen for Central High School and the reveal for Tyrone Area's High School Prince and Princess, as well as their King and Queen. Well, Ryan, Penn State, Ohio State coming up tomorrow. Are you excited?
I am. However, I'm not going to be setting my alarm because I do need the sleep. A little sleep deprived myself. Hopefully I wake up in time for the fourth quarter, folks.
For sure. Well, that wraps up Week 9. Join us next week as our coverage continues from around District 6. I'm Jack Raczynski.
And I'm Ryan Lowy. Thank you all for catching up with us right here with local District 6 action on After the Whistle.